Hello and Merry Christmas and welcome to Pink Paper Peppermints. My name is Melissa and I'm so glad you're here. Today we are looking at my Advent devotional. I'm using a Traveler's Notebook insert from my Home for the Holidays collection, and I've created a little title on the front. I'm with some teeny tiny sequins and a Q-tip, and then I've got this paintbrush and I'm adding some glue and some glitter. I wanted it to have that vintage Christmas card look, and I made a huge mess, but I thought it turned out really pretty. I just added the glitter to the roof and the little spots where the snow is in the trees, and it turned out so pretty. So the next thing that I'm going to do is fix the front page. So the very first page of this journal has the house on it, and on the back page it's got a church, and I wanted the church to be the front page of this. So I just cut the two apart and put them back together with washi tape, and I will show you how those look in just a minute. So for the title page of my journal, I just typed the name of the devotional that I'm using at the bottom, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about the devotional. It's called Unwrapping the Names of Jesus by Asherita Choo Choo, and I will link that below in the description so you can go right to that if you'd like to get it. I got it on Kindle, and I am really, really enjoying it. It's set up in the Advent style once a week, and then daily you study a name of Jesus. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. So I've got my front pages all put together. Now you can see I've just washi taped them together so that they're in the order that I want, and I like to put a pocket with a little note about the journal in the front of my journal. So I'm using these treat sack pockets from the Home for the Holidays kit, and I'm going to put a little tag in it, kind of a tag booklet, to explain what the journal is about and just my thoughts about the devotional. So I like to do that at the beginning. I kind of imagine someday maybe my grandchildren or great-grandchildren reading these and learning some more about me. So I'm using these church tags from the Pockets and Tags set, and they're a little bit too wide for my pocket. So I'm just going to trim off the edge, and I used a ruler because I really wanted it to be straight, and I'm going to save those little pieces, but now my tag sides don't match up. So I'm going to fold that over, not pinch it, but just gently fold it over and then clip it so that my sides match up. And then I've sewn those two covers together, those two tags, I should say, to make the cover, and they're going to fit just right in the pocket. So I've got this ledger paper scrap, and I'm going to just accordion fold it so that it can be the pages of my little booklet. I'm going to glue it to that back cover, and I'm just adding some ephemera, and this little label is from the papers from my collage kit, and I typed the word notes on it, and I'm just going to tuck that in there. And now I've got this little booklet that's all set up and ready for my notes. I've tied a little pinwheel style bow on the top, and I'm going to tuck that in, and you can see there's the pages, and I've got plenty of room to write. Now I like to always put tags like this at the top if I can, so that the fluffy bow sticks out of the top of my journal. It's one of my favorite things to do. You can see I've already got another one over here, and that leaves kind of a blank space at the bottom. So I just trimmed this verse from these journal cards from last year. And then next I printed some snow paper on a transparency. I'm going to overlay that over the house. I thought it would look like snowing. You can see that's the kit that it's from there. And so I'm just going to trim that to size, and then I've sewn it just at the top with the journal card that you see there. I believe that is from last year's kit, and just wrapped it around the top and sewed it on so that you can still lift this up and it looks like snow. So what I'm going to do for the way this journal is set up is I'm going to do a weekly page, and I'm using these striped papers. These are the papers that come with the treat sack kit, and I've printed a floral pattern on the back. And what I'm going to do is make a little booklet each week that looks like a present. And so this week I'm starting with a tall present, and I'm using vintage ledger paper inside. And this is going to be where I'm going to journal my thoughts about each week. Each week it's going to have its own little present, and I'm just going to put some ribbon on it. We've got to make it look like it's a wrapped present. So I've got this gold ribbon. I'm just doing a little crisscross pattern on the front, and then I'm going to tie another one of those little pinwheel style bows. Why can I not say bow? And put that on the top of the present. And the next thing I'm going to do, I've got these 3 pieces of paper. They're printed double-sided, and I'm going to make like a little waterfall booklet for the 5 days and the 5 names of Jesus. So the way you do this is you just line these strips of paper up with about an inch in between them, And you can see I'm flipping it over because I wanted a different side on the top. And then you fold it over so that those match up, and you've got this beautiful little waterfall booklet. Super easy to make and so versatile. You can use it for so many different things. So I've got it flipped over, and what I'm going to do is sew it at the top there once I get it folded, and I'm just making sure that it measures, that it's sized to the right side for the page. And you can see that's how the pages are going to flip up, and I'm going to sew it right in that crease there. Now you could also staple it or glue it if you're not someone who likes to sew. So I'm back from the sewing machine. I've got it all sewn up now, and I'm going to add some labels to it here in just a minute. Each one of these pages will be a day that we're setting a name of Jesus. So I'm going to finish up the other side. I'm adding a little tab with the word hope. That's the word for the week. And this is my numberly kit. I'm going to be using these numbers, and I'm going to number each present with like a little gift tag that has the number of the week on it. These are the labels from the treat sack kit, and I've typed the names of Jesus on each label. You can see this is the contents of the devotional, so you can see how it's set up. You have week 1 is hope, and then each day you study a name of Jesus. So I've typed those all out on these labels, and I'm adding them to my little flaps, and that's where I will write the verses for that week. And then I'm just adding a little decoration at the top, and I think we're going to need some ribbon at the top there too. So I've created a bow out of some Sari silk, and I'll link my place where I get my Sari silk down below, and I'm just going to attach that up at the top. So I'm using these slash pockets from my Pockets and Tags set, and I'm going to be putting each present in one of these little pockets on the page, and I'm just adding some sequin trim from my friend Abby at Little Birdie Blessings. I thought it looked like snow, and tucking my book in, and now we're ready for week 2. And you can see I've already gotten started on week 2. Week 2 is peace, and I've labeled all the days. I've created a little booklet just like we did before. I added some ribbon to the side of the page to cover up where my printer messed up. And I used a little journal card at the top from the Joyous Noel collection. And I'm going to use another one of those pockets. Now this one is designed a little differently. It kind of does a little crisscross in the front, and it's reversible, so you can turn it over and crisscross it on the back instead if you want to. And I thought it was so pretty that I really wanted to use both sides. So I'm going to show you a little trick for that here in a minute. And what I've done is taken a strip of fabric that was left over from making this cover. And if you missed that video, I will link that video in the description below where I made the cover. And I'm just doubling it over, and I'm going to kind of measure it out and make sure that it wraps around just the bottom part of my pocket. And basically what I'm doing is creating a little fabric hinge here. And I'm going to glue one side to the front of the pocket, and I'm going to glue the other side to the paper, to the back page, so that when you're all finished, it just flips open. And I could have used washi tape, but I think fabric is so pretty and it adds a lot to it. So I've added my sequin trim, and this is the present for week 2. I added some ribbon, and I added a little journal card on the inside to kind of cover up that ribbon, and my ledger paper pages. And so it's all ready for week 2, and I'm going to tuck that into the pocket. And I think what I'm going to do is put my flashcards in that back pocket. So speaking of flashcards, I wanted to show you this little tip-in that I made. These are there's 2 kinds of flashcards that come with this kit. They're colored and the manila. And what I did with these is I just cut them out just around the outside edges and didn't cut them apart. And then I used another scrap of that Poinsettia fabric to go down the middle and create kind of a little extra page. Now you could sew something to the edge of this, but I kind of liked it how it was a half page, so I'm going to leave it like that. And it just gives you extra journaling room. So you can see that I'm flipping through these pages. These are going to be for weeks 3 and 4, which I haven't started yet. And this is my little ephemera holder, and you can see I've got it tucked into a piece of twine. I cut out all the pieces of ephemera and put them in just some leftover clear packaging, and they tuck right in that little folder. And I wanted to show you how to make it if you'd like to make one for yourself. Super easy. You're going to fold this paper in half. You're going to match up the corners top and bottom, and then you're just going to pinch it in the center and smooth it out first to the top and then to the bottom. That keeps it from going crooked when you fold it. And now that you've got that crease in the center, you're just going to take the bottom corners and you're going to meet them in the center. And this is a lot like some of the other folds that we've learned, or maybe a paper airplane. If you've ever had boys, you know how to make these. And once you get your corners matched up, you're going to fold your triangle up and make sure that the peak of the triangle is in the center part of your fold. And then you're going to fold your folder in half, which will be really easy because you've already creased it. And then your folder is pretty much done. And this is such a quick and easy folder. I think it would make a really cute mini book too, or folio. You could make a bunch of them and then connect them together with some hinges. And so now I'm ready to decorate the front. I've got this velvet flower and I'm just going to pull off the stem and pull out the center part. It's really pretty, but it's way too bulky for my journal. So I'm going to replace that with a brad. And so once I get that out, I'm going to put it down on the page. And I've got these two little scraps of fabric that are left over from that same pretty fabric that we've been using. And I'm going to cut them with like little ribbon tails and attach them to the front of the cover. And I was experimenting with this green ribbon but decided that I didn't really like it, so I'm going to take that out, but I'm going to put this little gingham brad in, and that's how I'm going to connect the flower to the page. And then my folder is all finished. Super quick and easy way to store your ephemera, especially when you're working in it every day like this. So if you enjoyed this video, I think you will really like this one. It's a 12 Days of Christmas journal that I created, and I give you lots of tips and tricks for getting your journal done during this busy time of year. I hope that you have a very Merry Christmas and a week filled with peace and grace, and I will see you next time here on Pink Paper Peppermints.